Animation is arguably my favorite genre for storytelling, and it just annoys me that people just look at this genre as a genre for kids, because it's more than that. I believe it captures a filmmaker's true vision for their film. Just to clarify, I am not trying to disrespect or downplay on how great live action films and televisions are. And in fact, it has some of my favorite stories of all time like Breaking Bad, Shawshank Redemption, Inglourious Basterds, and The Wire. But there's something special about animation that just gives me a completely different experience that live action doesn't really do for me. Take a look at BoJack Horseman, for example, which is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. BoJack Horseman was the star of a hit television show called Horsing Around in the 80s and 90s, but now he's washed up living in Hollywood, complaining about everything, and struggles with his deteriorating popularity, depression, addiction, and maintaining the relationship with those he cares about, alongside with some of the wackiest and goofiest characters that the show has to offer. Now imagine that in live action with cameras and CGI and shit. That wouldn't work at all. The thing is with animation that you could make anything you want. And that's pretty much my point. A plot like BoJack sounds bizarre and really weird, and it shouldn't work whatsoever, but it does. BoJack could have some of the weirdest and goofiest episodes ever, like for example when Todd was forced to throw a drug kingpin's daughter's 15th birthday party because of a debt that he owes, and then the next episode could be about BoJack's mother's abusive childhood, that ends up with this sad and depressing ending of BoJack leaving his own mother with dementia, all alone in this nursing home, while he tries to reassure his demented mother that they're at the old lake house with all of their loved ones resting and trying to reassure her that everything is going to be okay. The thing is with animation, it's so easy for you to be immersed in these worlds and be invested into these characters. Hell, you can make a story about wacky adventures with a bird and a raccoon, a story about a mecha coming out of a 12-year-old boy's head, or a story about a group of space cowboys dealing with their traumatic past and trying to find their place in the universe. Live action does that as well too, but sometimes when I'm watching a show or a movie from this genre, all I see is an actor playing a character and seeing them placed in front of green screens and CGI. But with animation, all I see is that character. Live action would have such a great shot of a city and make it look really sexy, but when animation does it, it looks like it's from a fucking painting. In my opinion, animation captures the essence of imagination. The movement, backgrounds, characters, aesthetics, all of that is from the animator's imagination. This amazing genre gave us some of the most unique, creative, and beautiful stories of all time. Hell, it even inspired some of the most iconic Hollywood movies of all time. And I think it's because of anime that people are slowly realizing that animation doesn't have to be for children or an adult comedy series. It can also be a great way to show us serious and very complex stories like A Silent Voice, which is about a beautiful redemption story arc, or Akira, which takes place in this dystopian future with groundbreaking visuals and animation, or try horrifying ways on how to mentally fuck with the viewers, like how Perfect Blue does to a T.
What's up everyone, it's your boy, Internet Pit Stop, and today I speak to you through Kanji's massive chrome dome 5-head. Animation, as Kanji's 6-head beautifully said, is the essence of imagination. It is an artist's imagination personified, and because it can be anything that an artist puts on a paper or on a computer, it's not bound to the same limitations that a live action film has. With animation, an artist can express anything, a feeling, a mood or vibe, a location, a setting, a world. It can be anything that they imagine. It's not just for kids because anybody can feel what these drawings in motion convey just as much as a live action film. I will tear up like a little baby bitch the exact same way when Iron Man said this, as I also will when Iroh is at his son's grave and he's breaking down in tears because he misses him, and no, you're a little bitch, not me. Because even though one of these scenes is a real dude in front of a green screen, while the other is a drawing, they both in different ways can make us feel what these characters are feeling, what the team behind these works wanted us to feel. Both live action movies and animated movies can live in harmony because they're both just as real. When I saw Jim Hawkins flying through the air on his hoverboard in Treasure Planet, the wind in his hair, I felt all the wind, all the flight and freedom that he felt. Animation can put a character in a small, cramped, colorless tatami room, and I will feel all the loneliness that that character feels just by looking at it. Animation can be used to convey how a character who's going through depression feels. Because of their depression, they can't look at someone in the eye anymore. So everyone else just has these huge X's all over their faces. And we will feel all the growth and relief that this character feels when those X's peel off. Animation can create these painstakingly detailed backgrounds that make these worlds feel lived in. They're not just backgrounds for these characters, they are hours of animators and artists' blood, sweat, and cum, just so we can feel more immersed in these fictional worlds and feel like they're that much more real. Animation can make any sport feel that much more intense and like a battle of super-powered gods. You can always just say his opponent was so much better than him that he felt like he couldn't move. Or, like Haikyuu, you can use animation to show that. As that better player, literally holding down our character as if he's gravity. But then, our character starts to remember that he has teammates, and then slowly they begin to fade in and help him begin to lift off this threat. And I feel that and I get that so much so that it made me want to go play volleyball in real life. That's how much animation can motivate you. Because that's the beauty of animation. It might not be an actual camera shooting an actual person, but the feelings and emotions that it conveys that make us all laugh or cry our eyes out or get hyped or feel motivated or get hard are just as real as anything else because they can show it in any way their imagination wants to. The possibilities of animation are infinite. Whether it be the art style a show chooses or the color palette or the way a scene is conveyed, animation can be used to say something without using a single word, because animation is its own form of storytelling. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time on this domain that is Kanji's 7 head. If you haven't already subscribed to my boy Kanji, please do so. You do not want to miss some more amazing content that is on its way. But that's all I have left to say, so I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. Peace.
And that's why I'm so happy that anime is now mainstream. And now you're not looked at as a fucking weirdo for watching that shit. And the fact that it shows people that animation is not always for children. It captures everything from drama to some of the most insane fights in all of cinema. Adventures, mysteries, horrors, you name it. Animation would take those genres and enhance it with some of the most creative direction and scenery. I hope animation never dies out, because before anime really popped off, an animated movie would come out to theaters. It would always bomb in a box office unless you're Disney or DreamWorks. But thanks to anime that do extremely well in box office, it shows Western studio that hey, animation can make money if you make good stories. And now we have amazing stories like Invincible and Arcane that absolutely blew Western audience away and showed people that hey, animated stories can be phenomenal. And I'm glad that people are finally catching on and actually giving animated stories a chance again. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for animation.